Because hello everybody, it's Craftin' Just Because with Chris Cowan. I'm just getting set up here, so give me one moment. I want to make sure I see everybody's comments. We are going to make two projects tonight. We're going to be using the senior years stamp set and the banner year stamp set. Okay. Okay, looks like I've got us all set up now. So yeah, we're going to be using these two sets, and I'm going to show you when I created the first project with the senior years, I wasn't thinking about Christmas. And so I'm going to change it up and show you a Christmassy way to do it. This one was a birthday way that I did it. Hi, Kathy. And then the other project we are going to make is a little lifesaver box using the banner year. So we're going to make both of these today. Like I said, I'm going to switch this one up to making it Christmas, and then we're going to make this exact one. So you just need a few supplies. We're going to be using Cajun Craze ink, Early Espresso ink, Shaded Spruce ink, our Memento ink. I grabbed a couple of blends here. We have Holiday Red, Shaded Spruce, Ivory, Cinnamon Cider, and then a Petal Pink. And we'll need our paper trimmer and some paper. So I'm going to go ahead and set these aside. This will be the first one that we make, but I'm going to show you how, like I said, to make it look completely different. And if you're new to following me, when I share this video, it'll link you to my blog, which will have all the measurements and instructions for both these projects. So don't worry about having to keep up and write all the measurements down. Okay, so on the first one, I am using some of the In Good Taste Designer Series paper, and it is cut at 10.5 inches by 10.5 inches. And on one side, you want to score it at 2.5. At 5. I should mention that this pattern, this paper has up and down pattern, and if you want your, just depending on what you want your pattern to be, this would be the side that you would do the 2.5, 5, 7.5, and 10 measurements. So then we're going to go 7.5. I should say directional side paper. And then we're going to rotate this, and you're going to score the bottom at 2.5. Pretty simple, right? And before we get rid of our paper trimmer for this specific, what am I trying to say? I'm sorry. For this specific project, I am going to cut another piece of Designer Series paper, and I am using some of the Poinsettia Place paper, just because I want to make it a little bit Christmassy. And I'm going to use this holly print. And I am going to cut that at 2 by 3.25. So 3.25, and then by 2. Okay. So we're done with our paper trimmer for right now. I'm going to put that aside. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my bone folder, and I'm going to burnish and score all my score lines. I don't know about you guys, but I'm so getting excited about the holidays this year. I don't know if it's just because we've had a crazy year or what, but I'm ready to decorate and just enjoy being home. Okay. So now that we have that done, I'm going to cut off this bottom rectangle that's like a 1/2 inch by 2.5. And I'm going to tab it on the side. So I just cut it at an angle, and I'm going to go ahead and tab the other side, just like that. Okay. And then on the bottom, we're going to cut up the score line to that 2.5 inch score line. So what this, I thought this would be great for, and I'll show you what we're going to put in here. I thought it'd be cute if you made a couple of homemade cookies and then put one of these hot chocolate stirring spoons in. I got this specific one at Trader Joe's, and I just thought it was a really cute idea. I know that they're now making like hot chocolate bombs, but I just thought this would fit perfectly in this box, and maybe slip a couple cookies in a cellophane bag in there. So that was just my idea. Okay, so I like to have my seam in the back, and so I want to decorate this second square from the right. So what I'm going to do is I cut a piece of Designer Series paper from that In Good Taste that's 2 1/4 by 3.5, and then we cut that piece of Poinsettia Place paper, which I had just, oh, there it is. And I'm going to layer that right on top of there, just like that. And so we're going to glue that together. Sorry about that. I had to grab a punch. Okay, so let's adhere that together. You know, does that look better? I don't know if I like this paper behind it. I used it when I made the other one, but I'm wondering if I just want... Actually, that looks better. I'm going to do it that way. We're going to mix it up a little, since I'm trying to make this Christmassy. Hi, Heather. Okay. So now that I have that one done, I'm going to go ahead and get this glued down onto my second square there. Okay. And then I'm going to set this aside, and we need to bring in our Scrap Whisper white paper. And I'm going to bring in my Memento ink. And I'm going to stamp down our little lady here. And we'll get her colored in. We will have to fussy cut her out, but that won't take much time. Okay. So we have that one done. And then I'm going to take the shaded spruce ink and I'm going to take from the Banner Year stamp set, I'm going to stamp this Christmas Wishes here. Okay, get that put away so I don't get ink all over my hands. And then we'll go ahead and color her out. So I'm going to use, like I said, ivory for her skin tone. You could use any color you want. Okay. And then for her hair, I'm going to use that cinnamon cider, and I'm going to start with the dark. And I actually just go over the black lines that are from the stamp. And I do a little bit of shading around her glasses. Whoops. There you go. And then I'm going to color her skirt shaded spruce. So I'm going to start with the dark and just kind of outline it there. And then come in with that light and blend it all together. And then for her top, oh, I wanted to do, sorry, I'm going to do her little necklace green. The dark shaded spruce green. Okay, and then for her shoes and her top, we're going to do it the real red. And then we'll come in and color with that lighter real red, blending that together. And then I'm going to do the top brim of her glasses there, and I'm also going to color in her shoes, because who doesn't need red shoes, right? And then I'm going to take the Petal Pink marker, and I'm just going to put some cheeks on her, and I'm going to kind of outline that bottom ground there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the classic label punch. Hi, Kathy. And I'm going to, ooh, this is tight. Wonder if this will work. You know what I'm going to do? Because it's tight, I'm just going to use Christmas. Actually, I have another idea. Let's stamp that again. And this time I'll get all of Wishes in there and we'll miter that together. That's what we'll do. Got to be smarter than the stamp, right? She is all decked out for the holidays. I told you I'm ready for Christmas. Okay. Hi, Ginny. Okay, where's my punch? Okay. So now I'm going to make sure all of Wishes is in my word punch. And then we are going to, where did I put my little Christmas? There it is. Okay. I'm going to cut off the cut off Wishes one. And I'm just going to glue these together. And nobody will even notice. I guarantee it. So I just kind of showed you how to make it a little longer if you needed to. And actually, we could even put like a little rhinestone there if we wanted to. But we'll set that aside there. And then I'm going to fussy cut out our lady. Our Christmas lady. She kind of looks like a principal at a school. The trick to fussy cutting, if you're not a big fussy cutter, is move the paper and not so much your scissors, because you have more control over your paper by you cutting it, and it'll give you kind of more of an even cut. You know, like I'm leaving a little bit of a white border here, and it kind of gives you that even look. Okay, then I'm going to take my Wink of Stella pen, and I'm just going to go over her really quick because, you know, it's the holidays. She needs to be glittery. Okay. I'm going to bring my bag back. I'm going to put her up on dimensionals. Yeah. Oh, yes, Kathy, that is who it looks like. Are you talking about the kids' books, Viola? Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay. Then I'm going to take my sentiment, and I'm only going to put glue on the first part of it. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to put glue on the whole thing. I'm going to just add this to the top of my bag, just like this. Okay. And then we are going to glue up our side. This should fold over nice and neat if you cut it right. Okay. So the front is facing me. What I want to do is I'm going to put the back in. Okay. And then I'm going to put glue on each of the side pieces. I like to glue all the layers because if you put something heavy in it, it should withstand some of the weight. Even though this is designer series paper, so it's lighter than cardstock. So I put both the sides in, and now I am putting the front piece on so that the front is nice and clean. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is put it on its bottom, and I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm just going to make sure, or actually my ruler might be better, but I kind of just seal it all up. Okay. So this is where you'd want to add your cookies and then that hot cocoa stirring stick. Okay. And then I just kind of push the ends in together like that. And I add a clip. You can use binder clips or whatever. These I got on the clearance rack from Stampin' Up. And then we need a little bit of a ribbon there. So I'm going to bring in my holiday red ribbon. And we'll glue that on top. I like to use my liquid multi-purpose glue, not just a glue dot, because this holds it together. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, I have these little clips here in my craft room to hold that on. While that dries, I'm going to bring in our other project. So do you see how completely different they look? Granted, the coloring's a little bit the same, but I went with the colors of the designer series paper. I changed the happy birthday and the designer series paper, and it gave it a completely different look. Okay, so that was project number 1. I'm going to set that aside and let that dry, and in a moment I'll show you it without my little clip. Now we're going to make this cute little lifesaver holder, and this was a design by the Paper Pixie, of course, because she like comes up with great boxes and then I change them up to what I want them for. Thank you, Kathy. Okay, so we're going to need to bring in our paper trimmer again. Okay, and then this time we need some cardstock, and I am using Crumb Cake cardstock, and it is cut 4 inches by 6.5. Make sure that's right. Yeah, okay. And on the 4-inch side, we want to score it at a 1/2 inch, at a 1/2 inch, 1 3/8. Thank you, Jenny. 2 1/4, 3 1/8, and then we're going to turn it 90 degrees, and we're going to score it again at a 1/2 inch. One 3/8. 5 1/8, and 6. Okay, so now we're done with our paper trimmer. We're going to bring in our bone folder again and burnish and all these score lines. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to add some of the designer series paper, and I'm using the Gilded Autumn specialty paper. And you need 4 pieces cut 3/4 by 3 3/8, or sorry, by 3 5/8. And you're going to add those all the way up the box, just not on that 1/2 inch tab, okay? So let's go ahead and add all those pieces. I'm trying to get in all of my autumn projects. That's why I added another one today. Okay. Now we got to do some special cutting, and I'm going to show you how to do it. And like I said, all the directions and dimensions are on my blog that I share below. And I'll also show you a picture of how to cut this, because it is a little bit different of a cutting for you. So what you're going to do is we want to make this 1/2 inch our tab. So we're going to take and angle that and angle it like that, okay? And then we're going to cut this entire section off, these 4 squares, just like that, okay? Then I'm going to cut this one in. Well, hold on. I'm going to cut up the next one to the 2nd score line and cut that in half. And I'm going to wedge it. And like I said, there is a picture of this so you won't get stuck what to do. Then I'm going to cut up the next 2 score lines, and you want to keep this one whole, okay? And on this last one, you want to cut it in half again. And then we're going to wedge it. Okay. Now on this side, I'm going to cut off these 2 rectangles just like this. We want to keep this one whole. So I'm just going to cut up the score line just like that. The next one I want to cut in half and wedge. So I'm going to go up the score line, cut it in half, web the ends. Okay. The next one, I'm just going to cut off this tiny little tab. And I'm going to cut up the score line on the other side of that. And this one I'm going to cut in half. Oops, and wedge. Okay. Now we have two more things to do before we put it totally together. On the piece with, I take that back. I need to cut off this square. Because the pieces with the long tabs, we want to make a little half circle mark. So I'm using this little circle and doing that so you have a finger mark to grab onto. Same thing on this one. Wait, is that the long? Yeah. Okay. So now it looks like that. Now you have one last thing to do. On these long ones, you want to round the corners. And I'm going to apologize. I'm using a totally different brand corner rounder, but I love how this one works on little pieces. So I'm using my Creative Memories corner rounder, and that got stuck. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Okay. Now we're going to do one last thing. We're going to stamp using Cajun Craze, and we're going to take the leaf from this stamp set. And I'm going to stamp a leaf on each of those ends. Okay, now I'm going to set that aside for just a moment, and I'm going to bring in my Happy Fall Y'all stamp. Or, yeah, let's do Happy Fall Y'all. And then I have a little tiny strip here of very vanilla cardstock. And I'm just going to stamp that right in the center, just like that. Okay. I'm going to use my classic label punch and punch that out just like that. And then I have a piece of Designer Series paper, and I'm going to do the same thing and punch that out on this too. Okay. I'm then going to cut my classic label punch in half. And I'm going to adhere that on both ends to the edges of my sentiment. So I'm just layering it up like this. So I kind of essentially made the Designer Series paper look a little bit longer. Okay. And then I did pre-cut a leaf that we're going to fussy cut really quick. And then we're going to put a dimensional behind it. Okay. So let me add a dimensional here. Okay, so let's put our box together. We're going to put adhesive on that 1/2-inch strip. Fold the flap over. Now on these ends, you don't have to glue anything down. So what you're going to do is just fold in the flaps. And you could glue one end down so that it wouldn't open. That's up to you, but until you fill it. Okay. And then we need to take some lifesavers. Let me find my lifesavers here. And of course the wrapper fell off. Really? There we go. So then you just put your roll of lifesavers in. Seal that shut. Okay. And then you're going to take your sentiment. You're going to put that down. And then you're going to add your leaf. So there's that. I just changed the sentiment on there. And then here's our other project. So we have our hot chocolate spoon bags and then our mini lifesaver bags. So those are our projects for today, you guys. I appreciate you joining me. I know this was, hi Roxy. I know this was a little bit longer of a live, but we made 2 fun projects and it didn't take too long. So I hope you guys have a great evening. Until next week, I will be, I'll see you guys next week for my live. Tomorrow I will have a YouTube video that will go up. Hi Michelle, thank you. And it'll be using this senior year stamp set. It's making a cute little gift box. So there's a project going live up on YouTube. All my links for these projects will be listed when I share this video. Yeah, it doesn't look that big, Kathy. When I first made this, like I said, it was a paper pixie box. I did not believe that a lifesaver tube would fit in this because it looked too narrow. But it works. But you could, you're right, you could make it smaller for chapstick. Same idea. Okay, so I will see you guys next week. I hope you guys have a blessed weekend and everybody stay safe and warm. Okay, bye-bye.